everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you guys are all doing really well. It's a very dismal day here today, even dark, and it's not even 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I thought I would come on here because I need to record my video for you. So I hope that it's not too bright. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to say, as always, a very warm welcome, and I do hope that you guys find lots of inspiration here. But of course, I'm very grateful for all of you that stick around and watch me week in and week out, so thank you guys so ever so much for that. Right, without further time wasting, I'm going to get straight on to the little video that I've planned for today. And what I've put together is this little middle spread for the Christmas journal that I'm busy putting together. So I'm going to be showing you various parts of this journal that I'm putting together. This is my middle spread. Obviously I haven't stitched it down yet, but when I've got all my pages ready, then I will stitch that together. But this is what I've planned to put together for the middle spread, which I've quite enjoyed putting together. It looks far more complicated than what it is, so I will show you how I went and did that. Alright, so in the very middle page here, you can see I've folded it. I have got this lovely piece, this lovely page. This is from the Snowy Winter Garden from chapter 1, which I've been using quite a lot. And what I've done here is I have put in a little pocket over here, which we'll talk through in a minute. I've put in some of the beautiful baubles that they give you in one of their kits. I've backed those onto paper from that kit as well and stuck on these little ribbons. So I've put in some different ones there. We've got a lovely circle one there as well, and a lovely Merry Christmas one. You get loads of these in different sizes, and then this lovely one as well in with some red. So beautiful shapes. So I've chosen 4. And then what I've done is I've made 2 baubles as well, and you can make this out of any kit that you have. I've just used a die. It can be any circle shape that you have. I'll show you the one I've used, and I've put it together as well, so I've put some words on as well. Right, so I'm going to show you how I make those, which is really very quick. Here's another one I did, also very similar thing. So I'll show you how I make that. I've just tucked those into the middle little printed vellum pocket over here. And then when that is attached, that will then cross over like that. You'd see the page that it's attached to like this. I'll just move that so you can see properly. And then what I've done is I've got 2 pockets over here. With a little snowflake and a little bit of collaging with one of the beautiful stamps from the kit. This is one of those little shaker mouse cards that I showed you before, and I've got a video on that. I've already full of glue. So that's the little mouse one there that I've just tucked in over here. Then I've got a little tag from the kit, and I've put on some of those beautiful Plumbowtique ribbons, which I love. So I'll put the link in the description box for Plumbowtique. So that just slides into that pocket over there. This is just another ribbon that I've used. This is that beautiful Avril yarn from Nesso Studios. I'll put the link for that because people have asked me about that. And this is one of the tags. I've just backed those onto paper from the kit, put in some fabric there. This piece over here is also from Plumbowtique. Beautiful gold on ivory ribbon there, so that I thought I'd just mention. Obviously you could use a piece of paper, it doesn't have to be ribbon. And then this is just one of those shaker cards that you saw me make before, with one of the little mice in there and some little snowflakes, seed beads and sequins, and a little bell that jingles, and a little button and some fabric and things. So if you want to see how to make these or these, I'll put the link for the description box for that as well. Alright, so that just slides into the back there, and then of course when you turn it over, you've got the middle, which as I said will be stitched, and then as you turn that over, I've got some more tags little seed packet which I've made really small, printed and put some ribbon on that. It's got a little opening which you can tuck a little card into, also from that kit, one of the kits from the Snowy Garden. Here's another tag from the kit, another one of my shaker cards that I've made, also with some mice in and various goodies, some more bows from Plumbowtique. So I'll take these out actually, and then I've got another little tag from the kit as well that I've just dollied up there a little bit. Right, so I'm going to show you how I go about making this and what you'll need. So there's not much that will be needed really. So if I just tuck these all in again, and this little one over here, this would make a really beautiful center spread. And of course, backing these onto paper, you can write little messages on there about gifts or anything about Christmas really that you want to remember. And of course we've got this, I've used this as the page that's just behind my middle page, and if I lift that up you can see it's a really beautiful page. So I thought that looked really lovely. So I hope that you join me in making something similar for your journal for Christmas or any time of the year really. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. This is what you're going to need. So what I've done is I have printed off some vellum, and you can see by putting it against this one, it's the one where you've got the baubles, the stockings and things hanging down from, it looks like mistletoe I think, at the top there. So I'm going to cut off this strip here to make the vellum pocket that it will end up going at the bottom here, but that's just what I've used. You don't have to print it, you can use plain or you can just use paper, so that would work just as well. All right, so I've just done one of those. Then I'm going to use this for the middle page. So that's a double-sided print, so I've printed on this side, and of course I've printed this on the other side because you'll see some of this page in your journal. So I have got that page ready to, and I've printed it on both sides. And then this is just a backing page that is going to be the page behind the center page. So I've used that just to sort of pick up the colors in the tags and accessory bits that I'm going to use in there, the ephemera and the ribbons and things. All right, and then the very last is I've got this tea-dyed paper that is too dark, that I don't really like using, but I use it for backing things, so I'm taking a piece of that as well, but any piece of paper would work. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to I'm not going to fold this. This is going to be our center page, and the first thing that I want to do is in fact take this center page here. So this is the page I'm going to work with, and I'm going to fold it in half. So we are going to do that, and just like this, get my bone folder out. All right, okay, I'm going to open that up again, and now what I want to do is I want to just take a measurement, and I'll tell you using the other one how far up I did that. So let me get my ruler. Okay, so if I have a little measure here, I measured up, oops, sorry, I measured 2.5 inches from the base to the corner there, and in centimeters that is just over, say, 6.5 centimeters pretty much. Okay, so that's what we're going to measure up on both sides. So let's just put that back. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to measure 2.5 inches like that, and 2.5 inches on the other side. Yeah, so we're looking at there, and I'm using my pencil because of course it's easy. You can always rub out with a pencil. Now I'm just marking, although I've folded, I've got the light on, so it's hard to see with reflecting, and I hope this ruler is not reflecting too much. I'm going to join up now that point and that point there, and I'm going to use my craft knife but you can draw a line and cut out with a pair of scissors or your trimmer as well. That would work. So as I said, I'm matching up this mark here with that mark down there. So I'm going to make it just, I'm not going to make it a point. I'm going to go just about 1/4 of an inch either side of this, just so that it's got an area to stitch in when it comes to stitching in. I'm going to rub out the center bit there. So I just want it so that it's straight. I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Okay, so we've got those 2 points lined up, and now I'm just going to cut that there like that. Hang on to that piece. And then on this side as well. Now this is the top, that's the base. That's the base, that's the top. So just so that you are aware of that. And then again, just looking for that mark there, that one there, and I'm going to do the same on that side. Okay, there we go. So we've got our 2 pieces. I can now rub off what remains of those little pencil marks there, and over there, and over there. Okay, so there we go. That's the piece for the center, and as you can see, it folds in half like that. And like that. Now we are going to use these pieces, so they won't be wasted. Hang on to them, and I'll just put those to the side for the moment. What we want to do now is cut out a piece of paper or vellum, whatever it is that you're going to use for the pocket down at the base there. So I'm going to just put that aside. I remember from doing this the first time that I need to trim this excess bit off, and that's only because of the pattern that I'm trying to capture here. So I'm going to do that first of all. I'm just getting it lined up. I think that's it like that. So I just want to cut that off first of all. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to just measure the little pockets depth, and I'm going to just go over here at the bottom of my little sock. So it's like that, and I'll give you the measurement in a minute, and I might actually take off some on the other side. So I just don't want it to be overly deep. So that's where I want it, and I can put that to the side. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take off a little bit more here. So I'm just going to turn it to the side, and yeah, that looks about right. And I'm going to just cut that off again with my knife. This works equally well with a pair of scissors or with a trimmer as well, so don't worry yourself about that. Okay, so I have a little strip here, which should be, just checking, yeah, that was a good gauging. Okay, so if I tell you now that the strip for the pocket is about just short of 2 inches, ever so short, 1/8 short of 2 inches there, so that's probably about 5 centimeters. Okay, so that's what we're going to use, and obviously it's the length of your page, however long that is. So I'm quite happy with that. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to just stick that over there, just ever so lightly with my glue. I'm not going to be too worried about how much I do of that, because I will end up stitching this in a minute. If you don't want to stitch, or if you don't have a sewing machine, it will work just as well with glue. Just use, you know, you're going to glue this on the edge, but just make sure that you use a liberal amount of glue just to make sure it is going to stay in place. And it will do if you use a good glue. So you can't go wrong with this art glitter glue, but we all use the different types of glue. So I'm just going to do it there. And you can see I've got very little, but that's because when it dries, I'm going to stitch. And I'm not too worried about how much is going on here, because as I said, I will be stitching. So now I've just got it, and I'm going to put it there, and I'm matching it up with the bottom. And of course I've got it the wrong way around, so it's just as well I haven't stuck that down. Oh my goodness. Right, so let's try that again, Angela. We want it over there, like that. Yeah, and we want it all the way along, like that. That's ever, for some reason, it's slightly wider than the end of my page. But that doesn't matter. We'll just trim that in line. Like that. Right, so there we have a little pocket in place there, like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do ever so quickly, if you're not going to stitch this, I'm just going to stitch on the edge here, the border. I'm not obviously stitching across here, and I won't be stitching up here as well. But what I would suggest is that if you're not stitching on the fold line itself, all I did was lift this up, and either side of the fold line I am just putting some glue here just to keep it in place. It will stay in place obviously when you go and bind the signature, but in the meantime what I'm just doing is making sure that it stays in place right now. So otherwise everything will end up falling out. Okay, so there, we've done that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just going to stitch around the edges here, and then I will be back to tell you what else we're going to do. Okay, so we're back here again, and as you can see I have stitched right around that whole area, and that glue here is obviously dried in place as well, so that'll keep it down enough for what we need at the moment. So I'm quite happy with that. I have slightly distressed around there as well. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to turn this over now. This is where this is going to be used. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put one of these there and one of these there, but because I'm making double pockets, I wanted to use the full depth of the pocket. So this is where the tea stained paper comes into play. And what we have to do here is, let's just put that to the side, is to make like a false little pocket here. So what I did was I put this like this, and with my pencil I'm just going to draw a line straight down there, and then with the other one I'm going to do the opposite, the same thing, make a just cut out a piece of this tea stained paper. Any scrap of paper would do really, but I know that I won't use this because it's too dark for me. Bless my daughter, she helped me with this, but it's normally she makes me a beautiful color, but I'm not a fan of the dark. So there we've got our two little pieces that we are going to use to make our false little pockets. Now, just to bring this back, that one will go that way, that one will go that way, like that. But what we need to do is first is to cut these both in half. So, sorry with the backwards and the forwards. Now, what I did there was, I think it was, yeah, just checking. Yeah, that's right. It was 1.5 inches away here that I decided to do that. So I'll give that to you in centimeters in a sec. Oops. So that in centimeters is 3.75 centimeters away, and then all I did was I'm going to cut this in half along the line like that. Okay, so we've now broken this up into 2 pieces, and we're going to do the same with the other. So with this one it's easier because let's just make sure that I've got that. That's going to go that way and that's going to go that way. So I just want to make sure I've got it the right way. And then it's easier when you've done one, you can use this as a template for the other. So it's just a case of doing that like that. goes there and this goes here. We don't want to mix these up just in case it might be a few mils, a fraction off. Okay, so we've got that done as well. Okay, right, so what I'm going to quickly do is just give this a very light distress, that one, and then this one as well. I'm not going to spend too much time because I'm just showing you the basis of what we're making, and I can always do the rest of this at another point. So normally when I cut things out, I like to have this bit all done, but obviously when you're showing somebody how to make these pieces, then that's a little bit different. Okay, so I've just got a very light dusting here of that. Okay, now grab one of these triangles and let's start. So I think of course now I have messed it up. I know that goes there. Right, so what I did now was I stuck these down on here, but obviously you don't want to cover that area there, so you want to do it on the corners, so it's there and there. Make sure you've got enough glue on here unless you're wanting to stitch this, which you might want to do. So there we've got some glue there, so we've got a pocket in there like that, and then by sticking this whole piece down completely, you'll have another pocket over there. So I'm going to stick down this whole piece like this. This is like the little faux pocket front, so we can just stick that right to this glue's not forgiving, so let's just get it right here like that, and there we have it. Okay, don't worry about any excess sticking out, you can always trim that. It's just really to have something to stick it on, but obviously I've probably got it the wrong way around now, but that doesn't matter, easily solved. Okay, so there we have that. So what we have here now is we've got a pocket over there, and when I stick this down on the page, you'll have a pocket over there. All right, now you can go and stitch that all around if you want to, and I probably will in a minute, but I just want to show you quickly again. Okay, so we've got our two little pockets. Now, before we're going to actually go any further with that, what I did at this point was to stick on some ribbon. Now, this ribbon is beautiful ribbon that I got from Plumbowtique, and it's got this gorgeous Merry Christmas on it. So really love that. And what I did was I stuck this right across there like that. So that's what I'm going to do here again. I'm going to take my, I'll just use the art glitter glue, but in fact what we can do is use the double-sided tape, if you like, whatever you want to use. Okay, and then we just cut that off and cut that off. You don't have to put ribbon on there, you could put some other kind of color paper on there, it would still look lovely. Okay, so I've got one that's going to go that way, and I've got one that's going to go that way. Now what I'm going to do very quickly, I'm just going to stitch around the edge of that triangle just to make sure everything there is going to stay in place. It's not a requirement, it would stay in place if you glued it properly, so that would work fine. But let me just do that quickly and I will be back here again in a sec. All right, so there we have it. I have stitched around the perimeter there, as you can see, and I just like the neat finish that it gives it. So I've done that for both of those, and now what we're going to do is stick these down. So that's going to look really lovely on the back there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my fabric tack, and what I'm going to do is glue along there and along there, not that bit there. So I'm going to hold it there, and I'm going to just stick that liberally down with this. Okay, so you can see we've got our little pockets in there. If I just take a little card here quickly, you've got a pocket in there and there. You've got a pocket in there that goes really down to the base. Okay, so you've got your pockets there, and that's going to dry nicely while we carry on. And I'll show you how I made some of those little bauble things. All right, so I'm going to just put that to the side quickly. Right, now, as far as making these baubles are concerned, I'm going to just show you how I made this one, and then you can have a go at making some of those. And it's really nice, especially for kits that don't have any of those baubles in them. So this was really, I started using a couple of scraps and things, and then I ended up having to cut out some. All right, so the first thing I want to show you is this die that I love to use. Now, people have asked me about this. This is a die by Gemini, by Crafter's Companion, and it is called a Scalloped Edge Circle 2 die. All right, so if you have a look there, I'm trying not to make it shine into from the light. Scalloped Edge Circle 2. So that's what I use. It's got all different sizes, and I love using this a lot. You've seen me use it all the time. Okay, so you do get 8 different sizes in here. Now, the one I have chosen to use, you can get this off Amazon or any craft shop, I'm sure. Right, so the one that I have used to cut out this size here is 66 centimeters, or just short of 2.5 inches across. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use. Now, I've cut out a pile of these from scraps that I had, and what I've done is, you want to have one, I'm going to use one that's got a little bit of script on it. This is from all sorts of scraps of paper. This is from the actual kit, one of the gold pages. Here's another gold page. These are both from chapter 1. Sorry, these are both from chapter 1. This, I think, it's a script page that I've had. So I've just taken, you want 2 of those. One like this, and then I tend to go with something like that can be written on if you want to. So let's just take 2 of those, and we're going to glue them together. So first of all, find how they match up before you do that. That's not as easy as it always seems. So I tend to try and find that out first, and then when I've got it, I hold them together. It's just what I've lived in. With this being such a quick setting glue, you want to do that. And then I do half at a time. It's just a little tip for you, if that helps. Just because I know that I can't line them up quick enough otherwise, because it's not as easy as it seems with this die. I don't think circles are as bad, but a circle die would work. You know, you don't have to have the scallop die, but I do love it. Okay, so there we go. I've got those 2 stuck together like that. That's going to be my front. And then I'm going to just take my little distress ink, and just so I get rid of any of the white that might be shining through. If you want to stitch around this, you can, but I'm not. So that's going to be the front like that. And then what I did was I used this die. Now, this die doesn't have a name. It's just a bauble die. It's a cheap die I got off eBay for next to nothing, with a whole pile of other things. But if you had to just take a smaller circle die, that would work. All right, so this one is 2 inches, or probably 5 centimeters. Okay, so it's just half an inch smaller. And then what I did was, I've got some glitter paper, and I just cut out these rings with that die. But as I said, a circle would work just as well. So I'm going to take the blue one, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick that down straight away, like that. There we go. And then I'm going to just stick that. Try and gauge it, because you know this art glitter glue is not forgiving. It always worries me that I'm not quick enough. Okay, so there we've got that down. And then what I did was I took one of these pieces of paper. So in chapter 1, they've got this piece of paper which has got all these little elements in here. Here you can see I cut the boot out, but I'm going to cut out some of the candy canes, and I've cut out various bits, even the snowman. So I've used that to cut out bits. And here is a candy cane, I think. Is that what I was going to use? Yeah, one of the little candy canes like that. So I've cut one of those out. And then all I did was I cut out I've got a little Margaret Stewart, one of these that I've had forever, a little snowflake stamp. Take one of these chapter 1 pages, and I'm going to just cut out a little snowflake stamp. You can put glossy accents on it if you want to. Okay, so this is just a piece of paper. I've enlarged this from the kit. It wasn't a page. So there we go. And then we're going to just arrange those on here. So I'm trying not to let it stick over. So let's just stick the blue one down first. So just turn that over. It's nice with the glossy accents, except it doesn't dry quickly. I tend to do the glossy accents and leave it overnight. But even if you've got a bit of glitter glue or glue that you know, I don't know, I'm sure that you could use like stickles or something, and that would give it a lovely glittery look. So I'm just sticking that one down there, and then this one on top of it. But I do like how it looks with the glossy accents, if I'm honest. Just gives it a bit of a shine and lifts it a bit, so that's always great. And then I just stuck this one next to it. And then I just took the candy cane and put it in the middle of the bauble, like this. So this is really easy. And stick that down like that, just like that. And then I've got these words that are all Christmas words that I got from Pink Monarch, which is a new lady that I have discovered. And I've been tearing out some of the Christmas things there, and beautiful kits that she's got there. So I'm going to find a word that I can use. I think I'm going to say jingle bells. How's that? So we'll go, and I just tear this out with my fingers. I don't use anything else. So I just do it carefully with my fingers, and hopefully it comes out how I want it. So it usually does. So there we go, just like that, and I'm happy with that. So I'll put the link for Pink Monarch, and you can go and have a look there for all the beautiful. Now see, she's got a beautiful kit for Christmas, which I'm going to try as well. So it's got the beautiful pinks and aquas and things, which is right up my street. Okay, so right, I'm going to stick jingle bells on just like that, and that's how we make the bauble. And then all I did was the hole. I just took my crocodile, used the small side here, but if you don't have one of these, you just can make a hole with whatever you normally make a hole with, like that. And then it's just a case of putting in the little bits and bobs that you want to for the top. So I've just got a scrap here of fabric, and I'm loving this ticking. So I'm going to just cut off a piece of that, like that. And then I'm going to put that in there, which can be tricky. So my way to do that is to find my pokey tool, and I just get it like this and push that through, and then it goes through. Okay, so there we have this, and then hold it up like that. And then with that, I think I used some of my Nesso yarn, definitely. So I'm going to go grab that quickly. Okay, so this is the Avril yarn from Nesso Studios. Isn't it beautiful? So you can see I've just used a piece of the gold. So if I can find the start, here it is. You get all these different layers in here. So I just wanted to use a little bit of the gold. So I'm going to just chop that off, just so that I can show you. Now all of those strands, there's about 6, I think. They can be used separately or however you want to use them. So it is really such a good value item, because you get loads and loads and loads for all different sorts of uses, and I just can't get enough of it. I'm addicted to this now, and I think it looks so beautiful with the bows and things, so I'm really loving it. So that little bit I'll just cut off there. Yes, I have saved that. I have saved it. Right, so I'm going to just make that a little bit shorter, and there we have one of those little baubles. Yeah, and you can use all different sorts of glitter. I got this from this comes from the range, these glitter sheets. It's really fine glitter, so it's not too coarse, so it cut quite well. And there we have the little baubles, and you can make those, loads and loads of those for your Christmas bits with all the little elements from the various kits that you have. So what we're going to do now is we'll hang on to that. Let's put that over there. Right, so let's just clear the decks here. Go back to what we were doing. So as I showed you before, we've got our piece like this, which is the backing page that I'm going to use, and this is what you'll see coming through. And then it's just a case of getting your piece back here. This is the middle of it, so I have already bent that, and then it's just a case of putting the bits and pieces. So I've got a bauble like that. I've got one that we've just made like that, and I've backed these onto paper to make them firmer, as I said, so those look really lovely in the bottom there like that. And then again, of course, we've got this one for the side. Love the little bows. I've stuck those on as well. Here's the little snowman one that I made. So I quite like those. And it's just something, a different kind of a tag, really. And then, of course, the little baby mouse is just adorable. So there we've got that fold up nicely. And then on the other side, so when we fold that in like that, it's just a case of filling in with the tags. So we've got this little one with a green over there. We've got the shaker card, as I said, going in over there. And I love how these little bits just show through to the other side as well. You've got your little mouse card we're going to put in the front, and this tiny little shaker card with a mouse that I'm going to just slip into the front over there. And then, of course, when we turn that right over, we're able to then just put in the little bits and pieces. So we've got that tiny little seed packet here, and I'm going to just put that in over there in the front. And then, of course, we're going to put in the little snowman one, again with a little bit of green, and then the one with a little tree in this touch of little blue coming through. It's a variegated silk ribbon and some gold fabric there. And then the very last one is this with the snowflake. And as I said, these all come from Plumbowtique, if you're keen. Right, so there we go. There we have it. How easy was that? Yeah, and I think that looks so pretty in the middle. Once that's sewn down in your signature, that's going to be amazing. You can, what I would do here is, when I sew that down, the ties from the center, I'm going to put on little bells. I've got really tiny little bells, and I'll put little bells on the middle there as well, so it'll jingle. Okay, so that's what we're doing today. I hope you've enjoyed that. That was really fun to make, and I think it's really spiced up the middle of the journal. So I hope you're going to watch and see what else I put into this journal over the days to come. So the next exciting piece, I'll be sure to put a video together for you as well. All right, so thank you so much for watching and for spending time with me. I do hope you go and have a try and make this for your own journals. Leave me a comment, let me know what you think, and of course I'll be seeing you all very soon in our next video on Saturday. Bye bye now.